Hey everyone, thanks for joining me on the Slice of Healthcare podcast. I'm your host, Jared Taylor. Today I'm joined by Patty Post, the founder and CEO at Checkable Medical. Patty, how are you today?
I'm really good, Jared. Thanks for having me.
It's great to have you. This is a new connection. You and I met at the Vive Conference, and I'm glad that we did, and excited to have you here on the podcast today.
It was one of the highlights of the conference is meeting you, Jared.
That that,
Absolutely.
that means so much. I really appreciate that. Um, it means a lot. It was great meeting you as well. A lot of fun. You have high energy. I have high energy, so I think that's part of the reason that adds to that excitement. So, really excited to chat with you here today. I would love if you could kind of kick things off by talking a little bit about your background. Just give kind of everyone the quick overview, and then we'll talk more about Checkable Medical.
Sure. Well, I am a medical device rep by training and a marketer by training in medical devices, and moved into clinical research. Worked for a clinical research organization, learned how those medical devices go from an idea to all the way through to FDA clearance and then post market surveillance. But it was truly as a mother of three that I started Checkable Medical because I was super frustrated with the healthcare system and just having the barriers that didn't allow me to diagnose my kids' sore throat symptoms from home. And multiple times I would find myself in a clinic multiple times in a week with one of my three kids or all of my three kids having strep throat symptoms and ultimately strep throat. So I looked at it one day. Why can't that rapid strep test that is available in clinic? It's how they diagnose. Why can't that be over the counter, just like a pregnancy test? Exact same technology called lateral flow technology. And so I am a crazy entrepreneur and decided, hey, no one else is doing it. I had some friends at FDA, had actually a nice group of a network in Minneapolis that were startup founders and around the country. Went to JP Morgan as a consultant for other things, but sort of tossed the idea around, and people said, yeah, I think you should do it, because healthcare was at that time, it wasn't as at home as it is now, but I saw it coming that all of us want to be empowered to make those decisions from home.
So that was a great explanation of obviously your background. And then you tied in, which I like what you did there, basically the why of the company, which I always ask the why, how, what whenever I'm talking with people about their companies. And
Mhm.
every time I ask them about their background, 9 out of 10 times when they're talking about their background, it ties into the why of the company, right? How crazy is
Yeah.
that? But makes a ton of sense. Can you? I know you mentioned it a little bit, but can you tell us maybe some more about Checkable Medical, like how it works for people that want to use the site and work with you, and then maybe at a broad view, like let's assume that some of our listeners have heard of you and some haven't. Maybe talk us through more of everything that Checkable Medical does for those that are interested in working with you, partnering with you, etc.
Sure. So, the innovation of our company is our at home strep platform. And so, what we have done is we've taken an already proven rapid strep test, and we have exclusivity for over the counter use of that product. But you can't just take a product from clinic and bring it to patients or bring it to the consumer. So what we are doing is executing a clinical trial, multi-site clinical trial for over-the-counter clearance. And it's a rapid strep test. You'll be able to buy it at your retailer online. And when you bring that home, you collect the sample, run the test, positive, negative. But what is a diagnostic without it being tethered to a technology platform? Because it's what we all have in our hands. It's going to train. So our Checkable digital platform. We train the user on how to collect a sample, complete with animation. So we engage the child as well, because it's 15 to 18-year-olds most commonly have strep throat. So we engage the child. We teach the parent how to collect the sample, and then how to run the test, and then ultimately we will take a picture of your positive, negative. And if you're positive, you'll see one of our providers for a prescription. And then if you're negative, then we stay in touch with you and ensure that you didn't have a false negative. And if you did, we'll test again or go in to see a physician. So that's long term because, as I said, we're executing a multi-site clinical trial, which will take us into 2023. So in the meantime, we have a Checkable Health, and we are just rebranding into Checkable Health because we look at it as three legs to this stool. So we have the diagnostics. We are launching 2 diagnostics in the late second quarter, and that's a rapid UTI test and a rapid vaginal pH balance test. We will be launching telemedicine and our digital platform simultaneously. Right now, we have already commercialized a wellness line, and you can see this right behind me. We have a line of supplements, and these supplements is to optimize your health. So we have melatonin, apple cider vinegar for digestion. We have ashwagandha, which you and I talked about. We have a collagen, and then we have a UTI prevent supplement. So that's really our product, our line that allows us to launch the brand, bring awareness of our brand, and then build a base of customers that lead up to launch of those diagnostics and telemedicine options.
Thank you for the breakdown, and I'll definitely be purchasing the ashwagandha root. And I like what you did too, because I signed up for the text alerts, and I like was looking at it, and I logged out, and it's like, whoa, you sure you don't want this? And I was like, you got me. I used to take ashwagandha a lot, but I couldn't vet that it was also coming from the right spots. I know you obviously do your research, and yours is a much better. I was getting it off Amazon, right? And
Yeah.
not Amazon, like not a pharmacy or anything, just like straight up Amazon seller. Which that's not always bad, but um, it's it was so nice like being able to meet you and like learn about the company versus like I didn't know the company ever that I was working with on Amazon. And I know that's a viable place to sell, but it's so nice to be able to put a person with the company, know you and what you're building. So that's cool. And obviously
Thank
like if
you.
I'm going to support you over Amazon. So
We sell on Amazon too. That's one of our channels is Amazon, and then we have our e-commerce, and we are moving into retailers, just not yet.
no, it's not, like it's great for selling, and I'm sure that other company, it's whatever. I just know there's a lot of people selling on Amazon, and not everything is
Mhm.
like great on Amazon. But the fact that you're
Oh,
selling on there, that's awesome because it eliminates any friction from people that just want to put together a quick order. Everyone has Amazon, right? So that was super
yeah,
smart to be able to roll that out.
yeah.
Can can we, Patty? Can we should focus to what you were talking about earlier in a call with me? The first mile problem being like that's the
Mhm.
problem that you're really going after. Can you break that down a little bit for us? I know we hear that a lot, but it can also mean kind of different things to different people. Would love to
Sure.
hear more about that from you.
Yeah, so at Vive, I bet you heard this a lot like I did, which was a lot of the companies were solving the last mile problems in healthcare. And that's really amongst the 4 walls of the healthcare system, or once you are a part of the healthcare system, it's the patient engagement. And I am solving that first mile problem in healthcare. And so that allows you what we've trademarked is solving the first mile problem in healthcare, as well as your healthcare begins at home, empowering you with information, empowering you with diagnostics and technology to make those clinical evidence based decisions from the comforts of home. And it helps the patient. It helps the provider because we are reducing that burden on the healthcare system. And then it helps the payers and the self-insured employers as well because it reduces costs. I mean, an emergency visit to ED visit on a Saturday for a sore throat is absolutely unnecessary if you have a diagnostic at home. And that's what we feel like we're bringing an incredible amount of value to the consumer. And if you think of optimizing, we're really optimizing your time because we take that 4 hours, even just when I was taking my kids into the clinic, it's about 4 hours from the time I make the call, I decide pack them up, get them into the clinic, and you wait and you wait and you get the prescription, then you have to drive to the pharmacy. And just imagine if you and I, we could say we're sort of hourly people. Our time is so valuable as founders. And that's how I was looking at it, is every hour that is spent where I'm not doing something productive, it's a waste of money. And it's even worse if you are an hourly employee, and it's a burden on people's time. So we look at it as optimizing your healthcare, and we're solving that first mile, sort of like the scooters. And I got that, back in the day, a couple years ago, that's what they were doing. They were solving the first mile of transportation. And so we're solving the first mile of healthcare.
Except you're not going to just dump scooters off on the side of the road every which way. Which
No,
which
we won't do that.
I
We'll have
I
a
have
much
to
more targeted approach.
yeah. I have to ask Patty, just because that's where we met. What did you think about the Vive conference?
Well, I thought it was spectacular, actually. It was my first conference, national conference. I've been to some regional ones in the Midwest, but from a national standpoint, I thought it was spectacular and very well done for the first conference. I really got a lot from those talk tracks as well. Just even being not in the healthcare system anymore. I mean, I built my career on selling into hospitals and being a part of that, and then moving into industry. You are an arm's length away from the health systems. So I thought it was very interesting that they had, MDs and CIOs and founders of technology companies, and I was blown away by the number. There's some great technologies there as well, but the talk tracks, I really gained a lot out of it and I'm glad that I took the time to schedule. I thought that was nice, and just overall, like, really good people were there. I had some really great interactions and some great takeaways.
Real quick, Patty, before we wrap up, what's next for the company?
So we're launching the urinary tract infection rapid diagnostic along with the vaginal pH. And then we will be launching that with our digital platform and telemedicine in the second quarter. So that's the biggest thing, as well as go to our checkablewellness.com, check out our supplements. And like you said, if you don't want to buy right now, sign up for our SMS messages. You will get to know me and you'll get to know our company. And I'm glad that you said that, because I think it is, in growing a brand, knowing the faces behind that brand is really important. And that was my intention of doing that, 12 plus months out before we launch the strep test, that we have a following and a good people that are behind our company and what we're doing.
Absolutely. Great. Well, Patty, thanks again for joining me on the Slice of Healthcare podcast. Look forward to staying in touch with you and working together, and wish you and the team all the best of luck.
Thank you so much, Jared. Appreciate it.